Hello and welcome to All the Way Down, a YouTube channel all about the Scottish rock band Biffy Clyro.
All the way down, all the way down.
Now for this video I want to talk about B-sides that are actually worthy to be on albums, standard albums that the band have released. Now if you're not sure what a B-side is, basically back in the day when vinyl singles were released, you had the main song on one side, the A side, and then on the other side you'd put an extra track called a B-side. Now discovering B-sides, I think, is discovering another dimension to a band. With B-sides and Biffy, it's a very special area because there are several B-sides that a lot of fans consider a lot better than songs on normal albums and a lot more special, especially when they're brought out to play in gigs. B-sides to me are like pulling back the curtain and just having a look at what else is going on. Because when it comes to recording an album, the band could have 30 or 40 songs to choose from. They got to whittle that down to 12 to 15, or in the case of opposites, 20. So a lot of songs don't make the cut, and it is up to the band. We hope it's up to the band of what songs go on there. But I think there are certain songs in the band's history where better decisions could be made, and this is why I want to focus on songs, B-sides, or other songs in the band's catalogue that are album worthy. So I've picked out a couple of my favourites. I think there's 6 I'm going to talk about, but a couple of them aren't particularly called B-sides. They're extra tracks, additions to albums, deluxe versions of albums on different platforms, but you know, the reason why they're not on the actual full standard track listing are beyond me in some instances. The band have released a couple of B-side albums. Similarities in 2014 was the Opposites B-side album. Lonely Revolutions in 2010, which was the Only Revolutions B-side album. And Missing Pieces in 2009, which was the Puzzle B-sides album. As for the first 3 albums, the B-sides do feature on these vinyl. So this is Infinity Land. So after the full album tracks, you get. I always struggle with saying this. I don't think I've actually said it out loud. Bonanzoid, Death Grip, Stars and Shites. It's Always the Quiet Ones, Corfu, Drown in a Natural Light, and Gently. Then those don't feature on my list, but if I was to pick one of those, I think Corfu. I've got a special place in my heart for that one. But I know Bonanzoid Death Grip is a big one amongst a lot of the fans. Before we get to my top 3, which took a while, I'm just going to dish out some honourable mentions. In the Name of the Wee Man. I really don't know why this song doesn't feature on the standard edition. The only thing I can think of is that the lyrical content, I believe from what I've read, just looking at the lyrics, it's quite obviously about self-harm. Maybe that a decision was made that can't go on the standard edition, I don't know. But that song, along with Don't, Won't, Can't, only features on the deluxe edition, which I did get on the day it was released. I think this song is stronger than a lot of the songs on Ellipsis. If we're to talk about that album for a little bit, I believe it is the weakest album they've done so far. I've just made a note of all the songs that I believe are weaker. Animal Style, Rearrange, Herex, Medicine, Small Wishes, Howl, People. I think you could get rid of any one of those and put in the Name of the Wee Man. I know Rearrange was a single and got a lot of radio play for the song it is, but all the others I think you can get rid of and put in the Name of the Wee Man. If you search this song on YouTube, you'll find a live performance at Reading Festival 2016, which is the set that they're headlined with, and they played 5 songs from Ellipsis, and that was one of them, which leads me to believe that it's a fan favourite. It's obviously a favourite of theirs. They put it in a big headline Reading and Leeds festival set, so of course it's got to make the cut. It's the longest song on the album in full. It's 4 minutes 25. Don't know why I've written that, but for some reason it's important. And looking at the comments on YouTube, Everything about this song is perfect, masterpiece. It breaks me that this wasn't on the standard version. I mean, these days, if you want to listen to this song, it takes you 2 seconds. But for a band building up this body of work, I think it was a mistake not to put this on the standard edition. And like I said before, a couple of songs on the actual standard edition, to me, sound like B-sides, especially Her Ex and Howl. I think they should have put that on there. Another honourable mention is a B-side from Many of Horror single. This featured on the 7-inch red vinyl.
Creative minds and addiction. Cultural signs of Scotland.
So it featured on the red vinyl of the 7-inch single of Many of Horror, which obviously was a huge single for the band. It also featured on the iTunes digital EP. I think of all the B-sides in this era, Creative Burns is by far the strongest. And the only reason why I can think that it hasn't featured on the actual album, which I think it could do, it's just got so much swearing in it. Not in that order. But the opening lyrics.
She ain't a girl, she's just a fucking disco.
She ain't a girl, she's just a fucking disco. I mean, if that's not an incredible lyric, I don't know what is. I mean, just for that lyric alone, I think it should have appeared on an album. It's got cultural sons of Scotland. It references a whirly gig. I mean, what's not to like? Comments on YouTube say that it should have been on the album, and in capital letters, someone's commented, "How can a band make a song like this and decide to not release it as an A-side? WTF." Indeed. In listening to Lonely Revolutions, which is the full B-side album, to me that's the only one. That one sticks out. The rest, you can tell, I think the Simon's vocals sound a bit rough. There's not much harmony going on. And I think if the band took a bit more time over this song, you know, adding a bit more, perfecting the vocals a bit more, I think this could have made it. I'm really sad that it didn't, because, you know, it's just kind of buried as a B-side. When it should be celebrated, I think. I don't think it could rightly replace a song from Only Revolutions, but I think there's no harm in putting it in there. Maybe the only song on Only Revolutions I would replace anything with would be Cloud of Stink. I think that's the only one that is slightly more forgettable than the rest, and I think the rest are all really strong. I love the chorus as well. It's got like a high pitch sort of whine to it, and I know when recording this album they did use, and I'm going to pronounce this right, theremin.
Forgive me for the cause I've carried all these things. Up hills and down holes, it's where I've always been.
The lyrics, the whipping guitar riff, all the swearing. I mean, it's a great Biffy song. So my last honourable mention is a song called Sky Demon.
I've seen a million street lights reflected on the back of my hand.
I love this song as soon as I heard it, and I heard it straight away because it was an iTunes extra, so it was an exclusive, a bit of an incentive to buy it from iTunes at the time. They give you an extra song, which was this, Sky Demon. And it's such a strong song, I think. It only appeared in the UK release of the album. When I've looked at the lyrics online for this song, I believe them to be, even on the official website, to be wrong. It says, "If a bloody guitar, we will see we're happy," which I'm sure is, if the blood could talk, it would say we're happy. Maybe because it's a B-side, you know, we're not going to get the proper confirmed lyrics. There's another one as well, "Things will mix us ever again," and I'm sure I sing it when I'm listening to it. Things will make sense ever again. Again, like the other song, I think with a lot of the B-sides, they must choose the track listing out of a load of demos that they've done, and then work on those songs to create the album. And with Sky Demon, the only thing that lacks anything is the vocals, because they sound quite rough and it sounds like a demo. I love the guitar riff. And again, if you were to replace it with any song from Only Revolutions, which was an exclusive song from that album. Maybe Cloud of Stink, or you could just add it on. I mean, it's such a great song, and I think maybe if they were asked, you know, before the album was released, what song can we add to the iTunes release, this is quite rightly the strongest song from that era. So now we come to the top 3 of album-worthy B-sides. I think the band have stated before their regret. They've actually gone down on record to say that this should have been on the album. It's either this or a song that I'm going to get to next. So this song was a B-side from Vertigo of Bliss, and when I go to sleep at night, one thing I think of is if they got rid of A Man of His Appalling Posture and put in And With a Scissor Kick Is Victorious, the Vertigo of Bliss would be an absolute masterpiece. I mean, it's a masterpiece, but it's not an absolute masterpiece because Scissor Kick is not on there. It fits Vertigo of Bliss so well because it's got a lot of components that you hear on the album anyway. You can tell it's a song from that era. It's got that distorted fuzzy bass that you hear in Liberate the Illiterate. Ben singing on there like Questions and Answers, like All the Way Down. And the drums at the beginning, the double bass hits, it's got such a great intro, and then it just takes you on this ride. When they played this song at the Barrowlands, it sounds a little bit rusty. You know, at times I think Si's singing is a little bit off time. I think he's a bit behind when you listen to it. And I think the only reason for that is they haven't played this song for years, and I think if they put it on Vertigo of Bliss, the album, the tour cycles, they would be in more of a better position to play it. And I think if they put it on that album, they would be playing it for years and years, and it would be in there straight away in the set list. Comments on YouTube: the best Biffy B-side, a national anthem, a song to spaz out to, which is I guess that's good. And in the other video when I talked about Beggars Banquet releasing the singles album after they moved from Beggars to Warner's, one of the reasons why a B-side album around that time would have been great is because you would have an official album with this song on it, as well as a couple others that I'll get to. And the more and more I think of it, if Beggars were to put together that B-side albums of the first 3 albums, what better celebration would that have been of, you know, these 3 great albums that that label had come out with. And the fact that this song wasn't on an album is a little bit heartbreaking, but again, I've said before, the fact that it's a B-side makes it a bit more special, but it's definitely strong enough to be on the Vertigo of Bliss. Number 2, I'm going to go with... This song was the only B-side that featured on my ultimate but realistic set list, a video I put out a while ago. It's a perfect song. It featured on the 57 CD single, but it was a Radio 1 session, wasn't the actual recorded song. It's on the first EP, The Kids Who Pop Today Will Rock Tomorrow, alongside 57, Just Boy and Less the Product. And 57 and Just Boy made Black and Sky, as we know. I'm not really sure why Hope for an Angel didn't. If you can have a look at track by track, Black and Sky, the only song that I think is worth getting rid of at a push is Solution Devices. I think if you get rid of that one, put in Hope for an Angel, again, you're looking at an absolute masterpiece. It's such a special song live, this, and I remember listening to a live version where I think in the second verse, and the guitar line gets particularly quiet, and there's a bit of talking in the audience, and you hear someone shushing the audience, and then you hear someone shout, "Get your lighters out," which these days would be, "Get your phones out." to hear it live, I think, is a special moment for a Biffy fan. And again, maybe the fact that it's a B-side, it's more special. But in searching this song, in live version of this song, the first thing that comes up is the fact that they played this at the iTunes Festival in 2012. That was a 21 song set, and they played 2 songs from the Biffy from the Black and Sky era, 27, and Hope for an Angel, which I found was quite surprising considering there's 57, Just Boy, even Joy Discovery Invention. It's on here along with Lester Product, Instructio 4, Breather, Unsubtle, Being Gabriel, Time is an Imploding Unit, and Waiting for Green, all the way down chapter 2 and The Houses of Roofs. So as you can see, it's got the full album and then these bangers right here. For my number 1, I'm going to go with to clear this up, all the way down chapter 1 is on the Vertigo of Bliss, but there's 2 versions of all the way down chapter 2 which was before the Vertigo of Bliss. It doesn't make sense. There's a shorter one which is 3 minutes 17, and the opening verse line is it sat beside his bed as near as it could go. If you're familiar with those lyrics, you'll know what the song is. That featured on the In single along with Travis Perkins. It's the other one that I think is a lot better and a lot stronger, and my first choice for a song that should have been on the album. It's the one that's 3 minutes 51, where it starts, "Don't trust her, she'll break your heart," and then Ben sings, "Would you change?" And the line "lie back" when Cy screams, "Lie back, close your eyes," it's a shivers down my spine moment. It's probably the best Cy screaming moment in any song that I've listened to of Biffy Clyro. You hear on YouTube, you hear the vinyl scratch right at the beginning. That's because it's on Black and Sky, the vinyl. Comments on YouTube: "Man, these early Biffy songs, ... grungy, dirty, rough, getting goosebumps." It's a fantastic song. I really don't know why it's not on Black and Sky, and I don't really know why it's very similar in parts to the other one, the more gentle one. It's got the same riff, but then the verses just go into overdrive, and it's just they just throw everything at it. And Ben singing is amazing. It just takes you on a ride, a lot like Scissor Kick, and it's probably my favourite ever B-side. In fact, these top 3, Hope for an Angel, All the Way Down, and With the Scissor Kick is victorious. But all the way down chapter 2, I've met the band before, didn't really get a chance to chat because we were in Music Zone for a signing. But the first thing I would ask is, why is All the Way Down chapter 2 not on Black and Sky? And the second question would be, why is Hope for an Angel? And if you're to have a look at the track listing for Black and Sky, I mean, there's not many ones that you would take away to put these in, to put Hope for an Angel and All the Way Down chapter 2 in there. Like I said, Solution Devices maybe. Maybe the fact that they are B-sides is what makes them so special. It's unlikely, but if they were on albums, maybe you would forget them. Maybe they'd just become another album track. B-sides are special because they're the other side of the coin. The songs that weren't chosen. And sometimes we know the reasons why, sometimes we don't, and that's probably makes it a bit more mysterious. And when they get played live, it's a more special moment. But maybe the band could have held on to certain songs for the next album cycle. Or are they a band that just gets rid of everything and then starts again? I don't know. But there's a lot of great songs from Biffy Clyro that don't feature on standard editions of albums, and I believe some should. But there's some absolute brilliant B-sides and exclusive tracks, and getting into them and finding out about them was a really special time in trying to find out more about this band, especially when, you know, in the early 2000s when you just had the forum and, you know, a couple of bootlegs of MP3s knocking about. I think if you have a favourite band, one of the first thing you start doing is going beyond the standard album and finding out what else is around there. What covers have they done? What B-sides are there? Why is it a B-side? Why isn't it on an A-side? It's a very rich world to get into, but I thought I'd put together a list of songs that are more special than others when it comes to B-sides. And it's been great to listen back to them, and I do really recommend those 6 that I've mentioned, especially the top 3, because they're really strong. So there we have it. Those are my top 3 and a couple of honourable mentions of album-worthy B-sides. Again, just want to state the fact that some are not B-sides. A couple of honourable mentions are deluxe editions, extra tracks here and there. But I think it's really interesting going through and trying to find out why certain songs appear on certain platforms and certain editions of albums, and why they're a B-side. I'll probably never know in some cases, but it's great to have a look at them.